Hello everyone, Carolyn Russin here, professional life coach. Thank you for joining me. For those of you who are new, welcome aboard. Welcome to Women Winning at Life. And for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Hope you're having a fabulous day today. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about, because people often ask me, like, what's the difference between seeing a life coach and going to a therapist or a counselor? You know, how are things different? Hi, Bree. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that today and be really clear and transparent about what it is I do and how it's different and how I stand out, what's different from seeing me as a life coach versus somebody else as a life coach. Hi, Jojo, thanks for joining. And Gayla, thanks for joining as well. So I'm always very clear. When I work with people, it is not talk therapy. So if you're looking for talk therapy, if you just want someone to sit there and listen and just kind of feedback what they're hearing from you, that's not me. That's not me at all. I am very solution-based. So we're looking to move you from point A to point B, and so that there is change. And that's what we're looking for, is change. Hi, Krista. And there's lots of different ways that I do that, and I come from different points of view as far as I have my education background, so that advantage as a teacher, being able to cater to people with different needs and different learning styles, which is huge because I can have two people that have the exact same issues. But if they learn differently, if they respond to people differently, I can't work with them in the exact same way, and that's fine. That's where my experience as an educator comes in. Hi, Jane. But my background as far as coaching is concerned is actually in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. And it's fascinating when I think back to the training I did, to my original training that I did, because I've done a lot. And again, that's me as an educator. I'm always learning. This isn't a one and done for me. But in my original training, it was a small group of us, and there were actually 2 psychiatrists in this course with me as students. And I remember saying to them, why are you 2 here? And I just found that really fascinating. And they said, you know what? We're tired of writing prescriptions. They just found that cognitive behavioral therapy wasn't that successful with them. And they said to me, like, Carolyn, we've done a ton of research around NLP, and they're like, this stuff works. It is very, very successful. Hi, Barthy. So I found that really intriguing. And I'm seeing that. I'm seeing that with my clients, that yes, this stuff works. So what do I do? And then people will say to me, like, how do you help people? What do you actually do? If you don't just sit there and listen and just have talk therapy, what do you do? So there are 2 things that I do with all my clients. And then from there, it varies depending on what the issues are. And to me, these 2 things are very pivotal. One of them is called timeline therapy. And in timeline therapy, the premise is that we are carrying around a lot of crap from our past. And hi, Melissa, it doesn't matter if you've had major trauma in your childhood or you've had a boring childhood. It doesn't matter. We all carry around all this crap. And what happens is that crap affects everything today. It affects how we see things, how we interpret events, our perspective on things. It's all controlled by this crap that we're carrying around. And then in turn, it affects the decisions that we make and the choices that we make moving forward. So when we think, oh yeah, we've put that past behind us, and this is at a subconscious level. I don't mean that you spend all day thinking about your past. No. At a subconscious level, you are not even aware. So a lot of times when I take my clients through this, they're like, holy crap, Carolyn, I had no idea that I was still having thoughts about that, or I had charged emotions over that. So what happens in timeline therapy? We go back to the beginning, to that first event, and we pull out positive learnings, because what happens is you've got your conscious brain, your subconscious brain. in your subconscious brain, that's where all your memories are stored. And attached to them are all the charged emotions. Your brain will not let you release those charged emotions because there are positive learnings attached. That's why we go back and we pull out those positive learnings. So then you can blow out all those charged emotions. And then I teach you a way to dump all that. So it's through all the negative emotions. Hi, Melissa. Your anger, your hurt, fear, sadness, shame, and guilt. Imagine, give me a thumbs up below if you would love to dump all of your anger, hurt, fear, sadness, shame, and guilt that you've carried around all your life. Give me a thumbs up if you're thinking, holy crap, Carolyn, I would love to dump that. And so the best thing is that, again, I have a lot of clients who say to me, but Carolyn, like, I've been seeing counselors and therapists for years, and I'm so sick and tired of having to relive trauma. Hi, Michelle. Reliving past trauma. And I'll say, look, you don't need to do that. As a matter of fact, I won't let you because it serves zero purpose for me and for what I do. Hi, Christy. And in full transparency, what I do say as we're about to start timeline therapy is just to give me a heads up. Do you have any major trauma in your early childhood? I just need like 30 seconds, like this. That's it. That's all we do as far as discussing past trauma. And so imagine whether you've had that trauma or not, being able to dump it all and it not be carrying and weighing you down as you move forward. So what does that look like for people who have had major trauma? Hi, Jane. Maybe that means physical, sexual, emotional abuse as a child. Maybe it means a traumatic event. Maybe you lost a parent, whatever. What that means is that now, when you look back and you remember those events, and obviously I cannot erase memories, but now when you look back, it's more just factual recall. All those charged emotions that you used to feel, gone. You remember you were upset, obviously, but you don't feel it in your gut or stomach anymore. And I'll have you search and look and see if you can still feel it to make sure it is gone, because if it's still there, we will make sure it's gone. For those people who have not had traumatic events in their childhood, what does that look like? Hi, Lisa, thanks for joining. You know, one of my clients I had many years ago, I remember she was living with her adult daughter. The two of them were clashing. And I remember a couple days after following up with her with timeline therapy and saying, okay, talk to me about how you're feeling. And she's like, oh my God, Carolyn, what did you do to me? You completely changed me. I said, what do you mean? And she said, I used to be a yeller and a screamer. She said, I don't yell and scream anymore. I'm like, oh, that's easy. When you came to me, your cup of emotions was overflowing. So anytime something in life would happen, as it does, those emotions would go into the cup, but there was nowhere to go. So boom, she'd explode. But I said, in timeline therapy, we've dumped your cup. Your cup is empty now. So now when things happen in life, as they will, they go into your cup. You deal with it. So it's just a very different way of being able to move forward in such a powerful way. I just followed up with a client of mine. We just did timeline therapy at the end of last week. And I said, talk to me about how you're feeling. She said, yes. She said, I'm feeling a lot lighter. That's a good way of describing it, a lot lighter. And, you know, she was doing something on the weekend she was very stressed about going into. And she's like, it was fine. I was fine. I had a great time. And I'm like, isn't that wonderful? And so that's the feeling, is that things that used to really get to you, would set you off, doesn't happen anymore. Hi, Julie. So you can deal with things differently moving forward. So this is how, when people come to me and they say, I'm stuck, you know, it's just the same thing over and over again. It's the same problems over and over again. I had a call with somebody in our group last week who we had a call 2 years ago, and I'm like, okay, talk to me. How are things different? Well, they're not. I'm still stuck. It's the same thing. And it's following those same patterns. So dumping this is your first step to get rid of all that. The next thing I do is we look at the different parts of you. So we all, when we're young, and I mean as an infant, early toddler, we learn what we need to do to get the love and attention from our parents. This is not a reflection of your parents' parenting skills or styles. Every child on this planet goes through this. That becomes your driving force. And it's a subconscious decision. So you don't stop to reevaluate when you're 10 or 30 or 50. It's still your driving force. It served you back then. I can tell you right now, if you're feeling stuck and unhappy and you don't remember the last time you felt your joy, that driving force is not serving you at all. So we do a deep dive to figure out, okay, what is your driving force? But then we also look at the different parts of you. We all have about 6 to 12 different parts to ourselves. And it's actually been scientifically proven that these parts have a physiology. A lot of these parts we have been shoving down for decades because we were told as a child by our parents, our teachers, maybe even ourselves, oh, this part isn't valuable. Shove it down, shove it down. Those are the parts where you're going to find your joy. So we do a deep dive to discover, okay, what are the different parts of you? And this is not woo-woo stuff. The one thing you'll learn about me is I'm very tangible. I'm very strategic in what I do. So we pull these parts up and we think about, okay, how can we implement these parts into your life, your day-to-day life? What can you do? What are the things that we can incorporate so that you can feel more joy? So those are two things that I do with everybody, and that's part of my program. From there, it depends on what you're struggling with. It depends on where you want to move. Again, moving from point A to point B, we start with those two things, hi Debbie, and then we tweak and figure out, okay, well, what is it? Timeline therapy and looking at different parts of you is not a common thing that people do out there, whether it's therapists, counselors, life coaches. It's pretty unique. That's one major thing that makes me unique. My background, education, that's something else that makes me unique. I think that's a real powerhouse coming forward as far as how I interact with people, how I pick and choose the strategies that are going to work best for you and your learning style. Again, it's very solution-based, getting you from point A to point B. And we talk about that at the beginning. Okay, what is it you want to get out of this? What is your main goal here? And that's what we focus on. So I hope this has been helpful. Give me a thumbs up if you're like, you know what? I think I'd like to learn more. I think I'd like to hear a little bit more about this. And for some of you that are kind of on the fence, now's the time. You know, you don't want to be that person 2 years from now, Carolyn, nothing's really changed. And that is so common for so many women because we don't prioritize ourselves. We don't put ourselves first. We put everyone else first. We put our spouse first, our kids first, our parents first, our pets first, our neighbors, our siblings, whomever, because again, that's another pattern where we have not prioritized ourselves. Because so many women, they'll say, oh yeah, oh, this sounds great, Carolyn, this sounds great. Oh, but then I have to prioritize myself and suddenly it feels icky. Suddenly the guilt slips in, whether it's guilt about time, money, whatever it is. And it's pushing yourself past that as far as, no, you know what, damn it, it's time for me. I am now 50 years old. I'm now 65 years old. I'm now 45 years old, whatever your age is. It's time to prioritize myself. I have to show up as the best me to be a great mom, to be a great spouse, to be a great daughter. We can't just keep getting by with scraps. It's time for you. It's time to prioritize yourself. So again, if you want to learn more, give me a thumbs up or down below, just type me that you'd like to learn more. We can easily hop on a free call. And as all my clients would attest to you, there's no pressure here. We hop on a call, we have a chat, I make it really clear to you how this could help you, or maybe not. Maybe we're not a good fit. And if so, if what I have to offer is not going to help you, I'll be very upfront with that. because I'm only going to take you on if I know I can take you from point A to point B. So no pressure, easily hop on a quick call. We can do that. I hope you have a great day. If you're watching this on replay, or if you happen to hop on partway through, it will be posted in the group again. So, and I'll do that immediately after. So have a listen through. If you caught it near the end. If you're watching on replay, type replay below. And I hope you have a fabulous day. Take care.